Welcome to today's collective reading. This is Trinity Gaia Oracle. I'd like to open with an empath oracle card for the collective. And let's really speak to the energy coming through. You guys have been through one heck of a challenge here lately. And you've been experiencing the contrast. The challenge has been to be aware of that uncomfortableness, discern what is truth and what is falsity, and transmute what is not. That discernment of what is good is that transmutation. Very clearly, I'm getting that there's been some kind of a test. It's been like, are you ready? Can you do this? Are you ready to level up? But to be quite honest with you guys, whenever I hear, oh, you've been tested or you're being tested, like there's like this sassy part of me, and I'm sure that you guys could feel it too, where you're like, really? Again? Does this ever end? You're just you're tired. You're worn out. You're exhausted. And I sense that if you haven't reached this point, there's something here for you. If anything, at least there's going to be like, yes, you're not the only one going through this. You're not the only one who's experienced this, because we are all connected. However, there could definitely be something here that could be a message for you, something that'll knock loose a synchronicity or a memory or something that is unique to you, that has specific meaning to you. They apparently want me to grab one more for you guys, but they just keep having me shuffle. Maybe it's like, ooh, two more. Look at that. Maybe it's one of those things where like fidget spinners and things like that, where when you keep your hands busy, it's easier to focus on certain things. Okay, so we have energize yourself with the weather and find your purpose. Actually ended up with 3. So I'm just going to read these for you guys because there's so much intention that has gone into the wording, as well as the image here. The power of art and the spoken word, the written word. It's profound, it's timeless. It's often easier for empaths to give than to receive. Allow others to support you. Experience the pleasure of their caring energy. Very clearly, I feel that you feel that you carry all of it, that you're a leader, whether you're isolated and alone, you're connected in your awakening, in your awareness, in your energetic, interdimensional aspect to yourself. You are not alone, but you are possibly very isolated in the physical reality. So however you feel most comfortable receiving support, if you have a deity that you really work with, a specific spirit guide, or if you're most comfortable working directly with Source, this love that is beyond human comprehension, though we really do try to humanize, because we want to relate to it, we want to understand it. And that's understandable. Like, we've been given the ability to do that because the divine saw that we needed that. So if you are fully in hermit mode in the physical reality, or you feel like you are very isolated and alone, allow yourself to open to the energetic presence of being held, of being nurtured. If you were to parent your own inner child, like it's a baby, right? Like your own inner baby. Because I'm not going to say that every single person knows what this feels like, but what kind of comfort would you have liked to have given your own inner child? I know that for a lot of people, there is a certain routine, a certain structure, and we need these things to allow yourself to nurture that part of you, to bathe that part of you, to rinse away the tension, to let this aspect, this very pure, innocent, angelic aspect, that inner child, to be pampered. Because really, when we're babies, we can't do a lot for ourselves. We're pretty dependent on our parents. We're pretty dependent on the adults around us. So allow yourself to give yourself that kind of energetic presence. To allow your higher self to be that to you, and you're the baby. You, your conscious self, your ego, your inner child, your subconscious, your shadow, your light, your balanced. Allow your higher self, that connection to that source, to be that for you. To know what you don't, to take care of what you can't understand right now. To know that your role is to, your job, your one assignment is to just let this love be with you, around you, near you, and play, be silly, splash, you know? Because you are here for a reason. You guys have broken through whatever kept you from feeling this. You have passed whatever test. If you, I don't like the concept of test, but it's really like you've been running a gauntlet. Meaning, if you stop, it doesn't stop. So you have to keep going till you get to the end of the gauntlet. And then you can go, and that's where this is. You've reached the end of this marathon of challenge for you mentally, physically, emotionally, and it's caused you to know who you are beyond what most individuals that, I don't know. The society that I was born into, the awareness of the culture, there's a lot of things that are taboo. There's a lot of things that you don't talk about. There's a lot of things that most people are very uncomfortable talking about. And this path, this journey, this experience is not for the faint of heart. Because you look around you and you're aware that most people are not walking this path in your physical 3D reality. Most people possibly know something's going on with you. I mean, they can sense that energy off of you. Look at that vibrant rainbow. You are at the rainbow. If you're in the middle of the storm, hey, know that that rainbow is after this push. And by push, I mean, you're not fighting an enemy. You're not fighting something outside of you. What you're doing is you're claiming your power. When you watch a lot of the ghost hunting paranormal shows, there's one in particular that it just really felt very human to me. And that was Paranormal State. These are just kids, they're young adults trying to figure out so much at once, and they really do have heart in it. They really do care about the people that they are encountering. They don't want to just be like, yeah, you're haunted and peace out. No, they're like, what can we do to help? There's got to be something we can do to bring some harmony, some balance, some resolution here. And I respected that. So some of the things that I've encountered, just like on this show, there's two things that are coming through to talk about. One, whatever obstacle is between you and feeling free of its presence in your energy, your thoughts, your emotions, however it may be projecting and trying to interfere with you, it is your challenge. Okay? Because the more that you are aware that it's there, you don't want it there, and then you just kind of get lost in this spiral of fear and anger, because anger is a really potent fuel to overcome, to rise and overcome. But what's beyond the anger is a more potent fuel than anger. It's a fierce love of yourself. And this is where you find that purpose. You realize that it can project this shit onto you all it wants. But you know it's not yours. And when it projects this onto you, it's taking whatever your state was and owning it. So it's taking your hard work and your peace and giving you its conflict, its chaos. These are just examples. But what is a storm if not somewhatly organized chaos? It's organized on, yeah, we could try to predict things, but if a butterfly flaps its wings, everything about it could change, and we won't be able to pinpoint it because we are only, as humans, able to know so much. These things are very complicated. That's why they're called like weather predictions. You can't guarantee something. I think I remember a weatherman actually being sued, which is kind of ridiculous. It's a weatherman. Everybody knows they make predictions. Silliness. Either way, reclaiming your power? No. You don't get to speak over my energy. I am separate from you. I am sovereign, and I am calling back my power to me. It is mine. It is my inheritance. That phrase really is timeless because it will relate to any human being in any culture through hundreds of years. But in this culture, in this, like, down to earth, this is your right to live your life the way you choose. And this energy, this individual, this entity, this being, whatever it may be, thinks that it can, oh my gosh, I am getting the don't tread on me symbol from, like, I'm thinking it's a military thing. You know, I don't think it's the Army. I think it's the Navy. Don't tread on me. It's like the image of the eagle holding the serpent, and it's like the serpent is caught. Like, you poked the bear. What did you think you were going to get? Right? If I'm wrong on that, feel free to correct me. But, you know, I have encountered a couple of Navy people in my life. And one in particular is the first time I remember him really, like, identifying with that. But it's been a couple years. So, and so much has happened. And I'm sure you guys can relate to that. This stuff can be so dense and overwhelming. It's like, is there room for everything that you really need to focus on? Because this is just so much. And it's so confusing. Reclaiming your power back from that. Saying, I don't fear you. This is my life force. In the paranormal field, it's like, you're alive. You're here. You are by default, because you're a citizen of this dimension, like, by default, you are more powerful. Period. Period. The only way that it has power is if you are confused, if you claim the anger and the frustration and the fear as if it is yours. Now, that's where things get a little funky, because sometimes you are angry. But are you angry to that extent? Yeah, I mean, it would make sense to fear what you don't know and don't understand. But are you that scared, or is this being amplified? Is this your fear and extra fear coming towards you? Is it amplifying? This has been something that you guys, if you are not, like, if you're currently working and refining this, and you probably will be for the rest of your life, because it's Earth School. Like, we are here for a reason. We're here to rediscover ourselves and continually hone and dive deeper into what it is to be sovereign and continually free ourselves. Continually. And as we move through each challenge, and we bring that piece of ourselves back into our conscious awareness. This one is, yeah, my purpose in being here is to live this life as fully as I possibly can, and as authentically and humbly with love as I possibly can. To contribute my energy to this creation. The biggest challenge in this is there are very personal levels to this, and individuals that are empathic, we will find, especially if we identify as incredibly psychic, and most people will not necessarily understand. They may know something is going on. They may be like, whoa, you just said something really profound. And you're like, oh, that's like 101 for me. Oh, okay. It's part of why you're in hermit mode. It's part of why you're isolated, because you are diving so deep into yourself. But the people and the individuals that are in this journey with you, that are part of this story, they're very close to you. It's harder to see them clearly because they are your greatest teacher. If you walk into a room and you know things, if you don't even walk into the room and you know what's coming before you get there, if the divine source, however you identify with this, it is guiding you. You get to know things before they happen. You get to know that the conversation you're having with someone is going to have a huge impact on their life. And you are in that moment able to positively affect their life, because there was an agreement between both of you before you incarnated for this piece of them to be given to them. And you were the only person that could do that as efficiently and perfectly as you can, because when that happens, they give you a piece of yourself back. I think it's Carolyn Mice. She has this in Sacred Contract. She has this metaphor that is perfect. And I want to give her credit because she's amazing. Because it's so simple. We all come into this life with backpacks. And we have little pieces of other people that we're meant to encounter, and we're meant to go, oh, hey, here's this piece that belongs to you. And they have a backpack with a piece of you in there. And you just meet each other and you exchange those things. And as you move through your life and you're on this journey, you've accumulated more of your authentic self in this life than most people do. And that is not something to belittle. It takes a lot of willpower and sheer stubbornness. You guys, you're here. You did it. And if you're like just on the cusp of this, this is meant to inspire you to be open to the concept that even though, oh, believe me, it's been rough. Maybe you're watching this and you're just like, look, man, the last day has been tough. It's been very heavy. I've been very overwhelmed. I practically feel like I'm numb because it's just too much. This message is then meant to go, okay, well, what if you've actually made it through? And for you to answer that question. This is not about me giving you the answers. This is about you being open to seeing things here that are meant for you, and you, in your relationship with that source of love, going, oh my gosh, light bulb moment. That's what this is. I'm just an in-between. And I'm honored to be that in-between. To co-create this with you guys. Because those that are the closest to you, you don't see as clearly as you would like to, as you do others. You're meant to be able to live your life. And if you knew what was going to happen with them before it happened, if you knew this and you knew that and you had that all mapped out, you wouldn't be able to own it authentically. That's why it's like a present, pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I don't know, you guys, but what does that mean to you? What is your ultimate heart's desire? I don't mean your logical mind, I want money. However, it could be money. And it have everything to do with heart. Because if you feel like you're this leader, maybe you're the provider in your family, maybe you know that money will be able to give you and your kids and your partner more opportunities in life. And there will be thus more love because there will be less stress. There'll be more time to just be with one another and be in that state of peace with less chaos. It's about perspective and shifting it until it feels right. And you guys have done this. I know in many ways, I feel like you guys already know. But it's incredibly healing to hear somebody outside of yourself say it when you're so isolated in your physical experience, when there's so much going on in the non-physical aspect. It helps. It helps until you are able to be at that point with those individuals that are so intimately connected with your path because they're meant to be there for a long time. It's why you don't see things as clearly as you'd like to. It's why they are your test. It's why this is the relationships that are used to challenge you. It's not necessarily them, but it is aspects, energies. It could literally just be as simple as the divine being this being of love that is beyond our comprehension. Going, you know what? You need this piece of you back. I know you want this piece of you. How do I help you have this piece of you in your conscious awareness where you own it as your truth? How do I help you do that? Well, I have to challenge you this way, and I have to challenge you this way, so that you know I have to overcome this. And that's the beauty of this. That is the beauty of this, because there could be a face, a name, an organization that you could write as the villain. But when you get here, they're a non-thing. It's a non-thing because it's all about you reclaiming your power. You don't need a villain anymore. They're not part of the story. It's not part of the story. No matter how much energies, people situations, dynamics may want to be that villain, they are a background noise. They're not a main character written in. And this is something that I know I desired the first time I realized that I was an empath. The first time that I realized that I was feeling other people's emotions on top of my own. In that moment, whatever moment that may be for you, however it may impact you, because that may not be where it impacted you the most. However, that moment, you had a desire, and this being of love beyond our comprehension went, ooh, yeah? You want that? Okay, how do I help you get that? This is an awesome gift. I would love to give this to you. I would love for you to know this. How do I help you open this gift? How do I facilitate you reaching this freedom? The discernment of where that line is between you and other, you and something else coming in. And the most simple thing, it's like sometimes the simplest advice. So it's like in the military. They have this saying, it's like, keep it simple, stupid. When you're dealing with chaos, that shit works. That shit saves lives. You don't need to overcomplicate it. It's, if you're having a bad thought, you can always reach for a better thought. If you're having a bad emotion, you can desire to have a more positive emotional experience. And in that, you are reaching for more positive thoughts. You are allowing this source to come in. It's such a beautiful thing to know as someone who is channeling this, because I can't channel this if I have not experienced this or known this myself to some extent. A lot of what I channel, I have to be able to relate to. I have to be this, I guess, like this almanac, if you will, through which the information can flow because it's contained within me. I can relate to you. I can relate to this. This is such a beautiful reading, and it's so complex for having 3 cards. 3 cards. And we did have some, let's grab some power animals for you guys real quick, just because I know that Gaia has such a strong voice in this dynamic, in this situation. So much of what is coming through here, like she is just, and I say she because she receives the power of the sun, and between the power of the sun, which is masculine, it is assertive, life is created. Gaia has a masculine side. There's no question. And the sun has a receptive side because the sun is receptive to change. It's going through a lot of changes right now, and it's being vocal about it. And Gaia is like, so, okay, like they're having a conversation. There's a lot of change going on here. I look at the solar flares and whatnot as a conversation, because the earth will immediately react and respond. The earth, Gaia, feels that. And as, you know, her children, we feel it too. Let's grab a couple power animals here. That's so cool. I had, I think it's panther, yeah. I mean, it can also be called like jaguar, depending on where you are on the planet. the black cat like this. It can have subtle different names. Okay. Predator, prey, assertive, receptive. If you think that a deer is not capable of defending itself, you take a hoof to the face.